The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to today's Marketing Clinic with your hosts, James McDonald and Craig Proctor.
Well, thank you very much, Andrea, and I'd like to welcome everybody to our Friday Ad Clinic session. I want to thank everybody who uploaded an ad for us to take a look at. I can only assume that for everybody that didn't, it means, well, I guess it would have to mean one of two things. Either it means that the ads that you're running are working perfectly well to your satisfaction and you're generating the required number of leads and quality of leads, so you're good, or it means that you're not running any ads, so you really don't have anything for us to take a look at. And I really hope that that's not the case, obviously. For those of you that did upload ads, I just want to remind everybody again, it's really important that you give us a little bit of background on the ad itself. You know, what you spent on it, what, clicks, responses, any additional information is really helpful as well in offering you suggestions moving forward to improve. Now, you can do that through the chat as we go along here, but we were having a conversation before we started with the webinar here, and I want to share the sort of the content of that conversation with everybody before we get started in diving into these ads here today. When you set up your success website, they will help you set up a lot of the pay-per-click campaigns, Google ads, Facebook campaigns. They will set up the foundation of that lead generation system online. And from that, you can be assured that you'll generate a lead or two every day on a fairly consistent basis, especially once you've tweaked the different messages, the different campaigns, you've tweaked your budget. Generating a lead or two from those online sources is pretty predictable. But what our conversation revolved around is the reality that although those leads that you're generating from those online sources are good, they're certainly a whole lot better than cold calling. Every one of those prospects raised their hands. They all asked for real estate information. The point is, you will find that when you proactively run ads locally, you will generate a higher quality of prospects. So the truth is, you really want both. And this is something that we struggle with every new student that we take on in our system, is that this isn't just about generating a quantity of prospects, it's about the quality as well. And you want to have multiple streams of lead generation. So here's what I'm going to suggest. We're going to talk about local newspapers and how do we utilize a local newspaper running actual print ads to generate a far higher quality of prospect in addition to the leads that you're generating from Google and Facebook. We're going to do that. We might not generate as many from a local newspaper, but the quality of prospect that we're going to generate is extremely high. Next, we're also going to focus on the high turnover neighborhoods in your marketplace, that you want to directly target those neighborhoods and prospective sellers in those neighborhoods using direct mail. The quality of prospect that you will generate from direct mail into a targeted neighborhood is among the highest quality of seller that you're going to generate from any marketing strategy you could think of. So we don't want everybody to think that the Craig Proctor system is unidimensional in that it only focuses on running Google and Facebook ads. Yes, those are going to be set up immediately and lay the foundation and get some leads rolling in, but to really focus on the quality of prospect, we need to be proactive and run our own ads as well as those ads in these more specific print opportunities that exist as well. So having said that, we're going to get started looking at Alex's ad, and I want to say good morning to both Andrea and Craig. I know you guys have had a chance to review the ads here today, but I wanted to start off talking about that and sort of furthering our discussion before we started here. And I can see that Alex has uploaded his editorial style ad. And Craig, I think Alex really kind of took over where you left off in the local newspaper right in York Region, right in the Newmarket Era banner.
Yes, Alex has done an excellent job. He sees the value of running print advertising, editorial style ads. These are ads that do not look like ads. They look like a news article. and he's done a very good job. You can see this is in the local paper. Headline is justified to the left, just like the newspaper editorial headlines. And the columns, the width of the columns, you can see perfectly mimic the editorial in the newspaper. So not surprised to see Alex doing well with these. I did well with them. Everybody that runs these properly, and they run them in a publication that gets read, which is vitally important. The publication is really, really important, and making the ad look like news is important. You might think all these small little things don't matter, like the size of the headline and whether it's justified left or right, or whether the columns mimic the newspaper, but they do. It's the difference between it looking like an ad and being ignored and looking like a news article.
And remember, the best local newspaper, what you're looking for is not a daily newspaper. What you're looking for to run these effectively, and I really do encourage everybody, if you've not tried an editorial style ad, you really need to. But what you're looking for is the local newspaper. May not go out to everybody, it's just to a certain marketplace. And maybe it comes out once a week, or maybe a couple of times a week. This one comes out 3 times a week, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. That's perfect. It's got shelf life, so it hangs around. Does everybody read it? Of course not. Do most people read it? No. But many, many do. And because of that, we have more than enough that are reading this, where the demographics are primarily homeowners, and we're running an article that really flies below the radar by offering information that is specific to them and to their unique situation. It makes it very, very compelling to respond. So we've had occasions where a member of our system has run an editorial ad and reported generating 20, 50, over 100 leads from an editorial ad. And these are all, targeted right in their marketplace. These are prospective sellers. It's almost like these people have all raised their hands and said, look, in the next 6 to 12 months, we're going to be putting our home on the market. And even though there are hundreds or thousands of realtors, you're the only one that knows that we're going to be putting our home up for sale. You're the only one. We're not doing it today necessarily, but we are going to be selling our home, and you're the only realtor that knows that has that information. So you should use this time between now and when we're ready to sell to establish yourself as our agent. Put in place the follow-up system and follow up with the prospect, and you establish yourself as the provider of information so that when it comes time for them to list their home, they do not have to go through the discomfort of finding a realtor, because you've already done a great job establishing yourself as theirs. And think of it this way. These editorial ads are a really good example of planting seeds as opposed to hunting. When you're running ads offering lists of properties, you're hunting. You're trying to find people that are actively looking right now. They're shoppers. Well, and that's great, but it isn't unlikely that they're also responding to other ads at that time as well. If they're actively searching, actively shopping, then we know that there's likeliness that we're competing with other realtors that they're responding to as well. But with these editorial ads, what you're doing is you're planting seeds and you're capturing prospects early in the process. You would much prefer that. You would much prefer to have prospects early in the process before any realtor knows, raise their hands and identify themselves to you. And once they come to fruition, there will always be somebody who's ready to buy or sell who may have identified themselves weeks or months ago. So these are absolutely valuable. And what we just really want to encourage, every single one of you needs to make editorial style ads a part of your lead generation system. It should be an automatic part of the foundation, not something that that you can choose to either do or not do. You need to implement this without question. All right. Actually,
by the way, we have Alex with us. Let's get Alex on here because we have a question from Daniel Pilson. He wants to know, well, how many leads did Alex generate from this editorial ad? So Alex, if you could raise your hand, we'll get you connected here.
Alex, I have you open on our end. Just open up on your end. Click the red mic button. Can you?
Yeah, good morning, Alex.
Hello.
Sounds like you're in the car.
I am. I'm driving. Okay, go ahead. Questions for me?
Yeah, we're talking about the editorial ads that you're running. I'm not sure if this is in the era banner. I think that's where you like to run them, but you continue to run these. You continue to do well. How many seller leads would you generate, for example, off one of these editorial ads?
That particular one came out Thursday, and as you know, Craig, it was a long weekend. I got 6 leads off of it, and I'm still following up with a couple of them I haven't been able to get a hold of. But that style, by the way, that was in the Aurora, and that it really only goes to 10,000 households.
Yep, small distribution.
Yeah, it's a smaller distribution paper. It was $139 for the ad, which I think is a fantastic price.
Yeah, it's about $20 for a lead, and the leads are seem to me anyway way better quality than the online leads.
Oh yeah, no. 2 of them that I spoke with are about 6 months out, but that's okay. You know, I can follow up with them. I sent them out the special report, and yeah, we go.
Okay, I think we lost him.
Well,
no worries.
And isn't that exactly the point? They're 6 months out. So in other words, they've raised their hand 6 months in advance of when they're going to be selling their home. I assure you that Alex is the only realtor in all of York Region that knows that they're going to be selling their home in 6 months. What a tremendous advantage. And I assure you that in 6 months, Alex will want their listing just as much as he wants it today. It's a post-dated check. There is a post-dated check sitting in Alex's desk dated for 6 months from now. And as long as he does a good job with the follow-up system, he's going to establish himself as their realtor. And when they're ready to list their home, Alex is their man. It's already been established. He's had 6 months to establish that he's the competent provider of information, the expert that they're looking for, who is going to be able to help them. And that, I mean, it's just a tremendous advantage. Out of six prospects, even worst case scenario, if Alex procures one sale from those 6, he's making on average in his marketplace in Aurora, what's the average commission, Craig? $20,000?
More than that.
Right. Well, that's pretty good for $130.
So my experience with the editorial ads, about half of them were now business, meaning they were ready to buy or sell in the next couple of weeks, and the other half represented future business. And there is, as you mentioned, James, benefits to both now business and future prospects, and disadvantages. So, for example, the disadvantage of capturing a lead where the prospect is ready to act like right now is in many situations they already have a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Right. So you're there. They're definitely going to be moving, but you're too late.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the advantage of course, of getting a prospect to raise their hands weeks or months out is maybe they don't have a real estate agent yet. So you've got an opportunity to build that relationship. Of course, the disadvantage is you have to follow up with them. So, another point that you mentioned is, yes, not everybody reads the newspaper, but not everybody uses Google pay-per-click. Not everybody is looking on Facebook. Not everyone's looking at the postcard or flyer that comes in their mailbox. So you have to have a layered approach to your marketing.
Thank God we don't need everybody.
Okay, let's move on to the next ad. And thank you, Alex, for submitting your editorial ad.
So ad number 2 and 3 are the same. Ad number 3 it has the information, and then ad number 2 you can see the full top banner.
Well, the first thing we need to do is we need to establish a headline, and the headline needs to be benefit-rich. It needs to stop the prospect in their tracks, grab their attention, and the way we do that primarily is by offering a performance guarantee. And so what you've done here doesn't set you apart in any way. We've got an opportunity to use this space above your property listings to really grab attention. Like, what if it said this, move up to any one of these homes and we'll guarantee the sale of yours. Or what if it even said something as basic as this, 24-hour recorded info on any home for sale That's a unique service. So you're promoting the idea that because you've got a lot of listings here that you're promoting. There are, looks like there are maybe a couple dozen listings here. So by emphasizing in the headline that you can access 24-hour recorded info on any home for sale, that would be a lot better than just promoting a real estate company. Because here's the truth: real estate companies are a commodity. They're everywhere. The public don't see them as being, any kind of advantage or any kind of uniqueness. So having your Foxfire logo there and having it talk about, that we serve your needs, doesn't really set you apart. All real estate companies have been around for a while, and all real estate companies serve your needs. It's not a unique feature that is beneficial to the prospect. I'm not saying you need to exclude that, but it sure isn't a headline. Your headline should be really beneficial to the prospect, and the more unique, the better. So that's the first thing that you want to work on.
So James, before you continue, Linda just noted that none of these are hers listing. The only ad that's hers is a pool ad.
Ah, okay.
And let me read what she says about it.
That's not Linda's face right there?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, so, all right, so let me back up here. Here's what's happening. Foxfire Realty takes out a page in the local newspaper or in the real estate publication, and the realtors can buy a little square here. Is that what's going on?
Yes, and we have Linda.
I would just...
do you want to get her on so she can explain it a little to you, or would you like to go critique it first?
Yes.
Okay.
So I think we'll get Linda on here, and so I understand James was confused. He thought this was Linda's full page ad, but in actuality, Linda's done she's done a smart thing here, because she's not advertising a specific property like the other agents from her company. Instead, she's making a wider offer, offering a list of homes with swimming pools.
Linda, I see you're on the phone, but you're still logged in on the webinar as on your VoIP mic, and I understand you don't have one. So what I'll need you to do is go ahead and click over to the telephone option and then enter your PIN code so we can get you live on with us.
Let me suggest this. Okay, first of all, the pool homes, I wouldn't start with that, just because you got to think of it. You're only looking for someone who's looking for a home with a pool. So it is a more narrow offer than offering, say, must-sell homes. Must sell, distress sales, bank foreclosures, must sell properties. Start by running an ad that cannot be eliminated by anybody. You say here that the ad with pool homes ran for 2 Saturdays with no calls. So yes, I would broaden that out. Now you've changed it for this week to upscale homes to run this Saturday. Upscale and pool homes ad will run for a month in the digest of homes, which comes out this weekend. Okay, so there's upscale homes. Now, obviously, if upscale homes is a big market in your area, and that's a high demand segment of the market, then that's excellent, because it's hard to eliminate. If you're looking for an upscale home, can't really eliminate all of the upscale homes. So that would be a better offer to make. Whereas pool homes is a little bit more of a smaller specific market. So you're not appealing to as wide an audience. So that's great. But I want everybody to see what Linda has done here. I could talk about the headline all I want, but that's out of Linda's control. It's not her headline. It's the company's. So all Linda is doing is she is purchasing one of these squares within the company's ad. So while all the other agents are advertising their property listings, which of course are being eliminated, Linda's saying, I'm going to make a universal offer. And I'm going to make an offer that's harder to disqualify than an individual property. Now, the key is Linda's got to hit on what is that universal offer. Is it a list of homes with pools? Is it a list of upscale homes? Or can we really go more broadly appealing? And I would try the must-sell ad next. All right, so the ad that says must-sell, find that one. You run that one, and let's see what we get. But that one is the widest appealing. It can't be eliminated really by anyone. If you're looking for a home with a pool, can't eliminate the must-sell ad. If you're looking for an upscale home, you can't eliminate the must-sell ad. If you are looking for a townhome, condo, first-time buyer property, acreage, it doesn't matter what you're looking for. You cannot eliminate the must-home ad. That's why I really like that one to start with. But you're really on the right track here. And the other benefit is that these are inexpensive. So hopefully your company's charging you very little, if anything, to run an ad here.
And unfortunately, Linda's phone never did connect, so I wasn't able to open her line.
Okay.
Okay, Linda Nash is asking a question in chat. Linda's asking, when you get leads from an editorial ad, do you send them the Dan Kennedy follow-up letter, such as seller prospect cover letter 1 and then cover letter 2? Okay, so Lisa is referring to the gold plan, I believe. So Lisa, here's what all of the leads are going to get. We're going to send them the information that they requested, whether it be a free report or a hot list of properties. It's going to have a cover letter. Okay, the cover letter is going to identify who you are, why you're sending them the information. Hopefully, it's on your letterhead. It promotes your unique selling proposition. You are no longer trying to hide who you are now that you've got the prospect to raise their hand. If you determine that they're now business, of course, you're going to be trying to book an appointment with them right away. If you determine their future business, they're 3 months or 6 months away, you can send them our monthly newsletter. You can use voice broadcast to keep in touch with them. You're going to continue to phone them, make personal calls to them. If you feel it's a golden prospect, somebody that's absolutely for sure told you why they're moving and when they're moving, definitely you want to activate the gold plan, which Andrea has on the screen right now. Okay, now we have Gold Plan 1 and Gold Plan 2. It's the same mailings. The only difference is the frequency of those mailings. So Gold Plan 1, there's 12 mailings in both. Gold Plan 1, the mailings go out every other week. So 12 mailings going out every week would span 3 months, and with Gold Plan 2, the mailings span they're every other week, so they span a 6-month period. Okay, so if I have a golden prospect, somebody that tells me they're being transferred, they're going through a divorce, they bought new construction, whatever, and they're going to be selling their home within the next 3 months, I'm going to activate Gold Plan number 1. If they're 6 months out, I probably don't want to mail them every week. If they're not going to list their home for 6 months, I would activate Gold Plan number 2. Okay, so you can find everything on the coaching site. You can find the activity plan, as Andrea is showing you now. And Andrea, maybe just show everybody where they can access all the Gold Plan mailings are right there. Okay, so that's where you get it. That's the Gold Plan information you're going to mail, and those are the activity plans.
We do an entire webinar, Why Follow Up is Everything, and we just actually did that. So if you missed it with myself and Craig, you can go on to the webinar library and watch it again. But he goes into detail on even what the envelope should look like to that, so you should watch it for sure.
Yeah, like we've made it really, really easy for all of you to copy that. You can even get BXL to print up anything that you need. All the letterhead is there. All you have to do is fill in your name and print it out on your letterhead. Now Lisa's asking which date. So do new members have access to that yet, or was that just
Yes, we actually did it this past Wednesday.
Okay, so show
and
everybody.
And I put it up online already.
Okay, so show everybody how they can go watch that.
Okay, you're just going to go to the libraries, webinar library, and it's right here. Coaching session, Why Follow Up is Everything. You can watch it online and stream it. If you are not on wireless, I don't suggest doing it because depending on your data plan, so you can just download it to your device, and then you're not charged any kind of data if you just watch the MP4.
All right, cool. All right, let's take a look at our next ad. All right, James, what do you think of this? Free vacation home tours.
I don't recognize that ad from the ad creation program at all.
No, I believe this is what we refer to as a homemade ad. It's not one of ours. But let's have a look at it. No obligation. Educational tours of new Orlando area vacation home communities. So it's like a tour. These are homes near Disney World. See the best vacation home resorts and learn how to save thousands of dollars. Learn how to make rental income, leasing your home out. Use your home as often as you like and put it in a short-term rental pool and earn money while you're not there. Become an expert. Own then vacation, rent and repeat. Stop paying for hotels and rental units. I can't really comment on this because I've never experienced anyone running it. It's not part of the ads in our ad generator. So not sure who submitted that. Do we know who submitted that?
I did not write their name down for this. I can find out quickly if you need me to, though. But I haven't received any type of information in the Jeff. Okay, here he goes. Jeff, would you like to get him online, or?
Sure. Let's talk about how this is being used.
Okay. Your mic is now open, Jeff. Go ahead.
Hey, hey, thank you.
Hey, Jeff. How you doing this morning?
Hey, good, Craig. Thanks for taking a look. This is actually a flyer, which is the makings of an ad, which I was going to start with Craigslist and then work my way to Facebook and Google. But this is a flyer that we are trying to get to people who are in town, people who are already here, tourists who are here vacationing. And I would love your advice on, besides property managers and restaurants by Reunion and Champions Gate, and Craigslist, what you would advise to get these in the hands of people who are here or coming here.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that. How are you distributing it now?
Well, we're probably a couple days away from distributing through Prime restaurants and Craigslist ad coming up very soon. But also there are 2 restaurants right between Reunion Resort and Champions Gate, 2 of the Prime ones here, that we're going to try to become best friends with the general manager and have our flyers put in there, a stack of them.
Yeah, my gut tells me this is probably not going to work.
Okay. Because?
Well, everything's a test. Because I don't think you have a targeted audience. Just because they're at a restaurant doesn't really mean they're looking to buy or sell real estate.
Okay.
And because we sort our mail in under 20 seconds because people don't read the mail, they look at it. So anyway,
well, it's not mail. It's going to be a flyer at a restaurant.
Well, let me stop you real quick.
All I would do is I would 2-step it. In other words, you need to come up with a simpler message to get the prospect to raise their hand. Then, once they've raised their hand, then you can send them more information. But let me give you an example. If you ran an ad that offered a free list of vacation rental properties, these are great deals, off-market vacation rental properties, free hot list of these types of properties. Okay, just a very simple message like that offers a free hot list of these types of properties. Get the prospect to raise their hand and identify that they're a prospect that would be interested in this. Now that you have the prospect, now you can start to drip on them this kind of offer that you're making right here. But you're using this as the means to get them to raise their hands, and the problem with it is that because there's so much information there, it assumes that people are going to read it. But if you look at what you and I do, we don't really read advertising. We look at it, and it either captures us or it doesn't. So a simpler message would be better at grabbing the prospect and getting them to raise their hand. Once they do, then the second step of the process is dripping information on them like this that would be really helpful to them. But I think Craig is right. I think what you're going to find is if you just try to generate the lead by sending something like this or advertising something like this, it's going to fall on deaf ears.
Okay.
Look, we're all for testing. I can just tell you my experience. I don't think it's going to work.
Right. Well, I wanted to get off the restaurant word for a second and focus more on the property management. The property managers have, to get the flyers in their hands, and there's probably 200 property managers in and around Disney, and those people have access to people who are coming in to rent vacation homes.
So why are the property managers going to be motivated to hand these out so you can sell them a house?
Because if I sell them a house, I kick the business back to the property manager, or at least recommend the business back to the property manager.
Yeah. I agree with James. I would just offer a list of properties that are attractive, or a list of vacation homes.
A hot list of the best vacation home resort properties.
Right. Okay.
In all price ranges, great deals, must sell, off market, foreclosed. Really make this list sound like these are really good, hard to find properties. Now here's okay. Just what you said right there. I've got another idea that I know Craig will be able to weigh in on as well. If what you want to do is get in with the property managers, you need to come up with a unique selling proposition that would be beneficial to the property manager. Like, what if you said this? Look, for any buyer that's interested in buying in your development or wherever they service, here's my guarantee. If they purchase a vacation rental there and within a year they don't like it or they're not seeing a return on investment, I will sell it for free. In other words, all of the agents, all of the realtors in your area would more than happily kick back the business to the property manager. We know that. So there's no advantage there. You need to come up with some sort of a unique proposition where if you're talking to a property manager, you say, look, here's what I do that is different. If one of the purchasers in your area don't like their property or aren't seeing a return or whatever it is, if they want to sell it and I sell that property within a year, I'll buy it back or I'll sell it for free, or something that is unique that the property manager would see as a benefit to using you exclusively. You become their go-to realtor because of that unique selling proposition, almost like you would do with a home builder.
Right. Can I ask one quick follow-up question on the and I love the idea of the free hot list, the best properties, the great deals, the must-sells, the off-markets, the on vacation homes.
You're going to generate way more leads doing that.
Okay, where do you send those ads? Considering, I'm targeting people who come here. Where, how would you target that?
All the places that you said you were going to run this ad, right? Everywhere where you said you were going to run this ad, you said you were going to start with running it on Craigslist, and you're going to look at running it on Google, right? I mean, all I'm saying is change the message, two-step it. So I'm not, your approach as far as distribution of the message, that's going to be a test, and you're going to do exactly what you're going to do. All we're doing is we're taking the message and we're going to really condense it and make it a very simple, impactful, benefit-rich message. Get them to raise their hands. Once they raise their hands, then you can follow up with them. You can create a drip campaign, and but at least you're targeting the right audience.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, it's Craig.
Yeah.
Have you tried to run any of our ads in this respect?
No, not yet. But I'm planning to work with my coach to get there. I mean, we're trying to strategize because I'm more of a specialist. It's a little different. So we plan to talk about it. Yes.
Okay, so it's not just you we find doing this. We've got many members that before they're actually just running the ads that we recommend are going to all this extra work to create this marketing. And what you said a second ago is, what I'm doing is a little bit different. It's a little bit more specialized. everyone we work with kind of thinks that their situation is unique, their market's unique, and it's really, not so unique, because buyers and sellers everywhere want the same things.
Right.
So if I was a coaching member and I was paying for this program, here's what I would do. I would say, I would think, why am I paying Craig? Why am I in this program? Because I want ads that have been proven to work. Why not just copy exactly what we've got laid out that's been proven to work, run it in the places where we recommend. That's the first thing I would try, because it's the easiest thing to do. And then if that doesn't work, you can start testing other ideas. But we have things that have been proven to work for anything that you want to do, any target market you want to go after. And I would work with your coach on just looking at the ad generator, asking yourself, who is it that I most want to target? Talk to your coach about which one of these ads would best do the job. When James and I refer to testing, what we're really referring to is testing the different ads that we're giving you folks in different media. But because in real estate we attract people that are entrepreneurial, it's very common for us to have our members, running ads that we can't really comment on what you're running or doing it through the property managers or leaving these at restaurants. I don't know, is it going to work? All I can tell you, my gut, no, I don't think it's going to work. But look, maybe I'm wrong. But what I can really comment on are the ads that I perfected over 25 years.
Okay.
The ads we're giving you, I can tell you, they work not just for me, but for thousands of our other members. So it seems to me that would be a great place to start.
Okay, thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Let's go to ad number next.
So ad number five is what ad number 6 looks like in its placement. It was just hard to see, so I thought I'd make a clearer version.
Okay. So again, it looks like we've got another ad from an office. The headline on this ad, our members ad, I'm assuming number 6 is just their ad, and the rest of the half page here is from the company. And you can see real estate companies in general do a horrendous job in their headline, as James mentioned before. You've got the Coldwell Banker Premier, you've got Daytona Beach Shores office. There's no benefit there. Would everyone agree that your benefit should be in your headline? Your headline is your ad for the ad. If the headline does not grab the prospect's attention, the prospect doesn't read the rest of the ad. So it doesn't matter how good everything in the ad is below the headline if the prospect's not seeing it. So that's why we want to make sure that we've got this benefit-rich headline right at the top of the ad. Okay, I'll repeat it again. Your headline is the ad for the ad. Well, we don't really have a good headline here, do we? We have a Coldwell Banker logo. Now, our member may not be in control of this, right? This is something that their company runs, and they're very institutional. Most companies are institutional. They're not particularly concerned about maybe you getting a great response. So this ad number 6 is just, an ad within this full-page corporate ad being run by Coldwell Banker. So our members doing the best they can in this situation. It says, find out what your home is worth online, and then it's got Coldwell Banker Properties. I don't know why you need to have the Coldwell Banker in that ad if Coldwell Banker is already on top. I prefer to run this as a less branded ad. I would never run it on a page like this. I would run it in the classified section, or I'd run it peppered through the local paper. Andrea, maybe you've got some examples. You can show an example of where I would run my ad, what it would look like.
I do. Give me 1 second so I can pull that information up. And while I'm doing that, our member did talked to his coach, Rick Brash, and so he knows that the call to action or the landing page is very small. That would need to be way bigger because you can barely see it.
Yeah, well, look, the whole idea with this campaign, Find Out What Your Home is Worth Online, is it's supposed to not look like it's coming from a real estate agent. Okay, this is very branded. Mine is purposely less branded. That's why it works. I think every seller probably knows they could call a real estate agent, they could call Coldwell Banker, and if you contact Coldwell Banker, they'll give you an evaluation of your home. Mine didn't look like that. There was no Remax, no Coldwell Banker. Very, very small in mice type at the bottom of my ad, it said, Craig Proctor, sales rep at Remax. It certainly didn't stand out. What did stand out is the prospect could get a free online home evaluation, or they could find out what homes in their neighborhood or on their street had sold for. And they didn't have to talk to anybody. It gave the appearance of being independent information. It wasn't coming from a real estate agent. It wasn't part of a big institutional ad from my company or a branded ad on my page.
I know this is not exactly what you're looking for. I'm still kind of looking for my great ones.
If you just go to the coaching site, I think right on the home page, you'll find an example of the ad anyway. It may not be run on a page. Just go to the home page of the coaching site. And under display ads, if you click there,
yeah, I knew about this one.
That's my ad right there. Okay. So imagine this just running, randomly on a page in the editorial section. Okay, or in the classified section under homes for sale. But it's not clear that this is coming from a real estate agent. If I was to have Remax or Coldwell Banker or Keller Williams really big on that, I know the response would go down. Why? Because I've tried it before. Remember, just like most of you, I was taught that I'm supposed to have my picture and the Remax balloon on everything. What I stumbled onto is when I took my picture off and I made Remax really, really, really small so people couldn't read it, that the response went up. And that's what I'm all about. You should be all about is, well, what gets us maximum response? So that ad is the right idea, but it's being run in the wrong place. That's the problem, is you're not going to get a very good response when this is an institutional ad. You're telling prospects that Coldwell Banker will give you an evaluation of your home. Well, it's kind of like the Geico commercial, right? Everybody knows that. What I'm reaching out to are prospects that don't want to speak to a real estate agent. They don't want to contact Coldwell Banker or Remax or Century 21. They just want to be able to go to www.onlinehomeevaluation and get an idea as to what their house might sell for without speaking to a real estate agent. That's why it works. Same reason people go to Zillow. Go ahead and Google your home address, and there'll be 4 different sites that come up at least that tell you what your house is worth. We know it's popular because there's all these sites that offer it. So you're just your strategy is to capture that market. Let's go on to ad number 7, please. Lisa has a question here. She says she has to go quickly. Lisa's microphone, I believe, is working now, so let's see if we can connect her, Andrea.
Lisa, you're live on with us. Lisa? Doesn't sound like it's connecting properly. I'm not getting any type of feedback.
All right, Lisa. We've tried anything you can. What she needs to click on telephone, right?
Is she on the telephone or is she on her
said
computer?
telephone.
Yes.
She
If you're
said
on the telephone, what I'll need you to do is click on the telephone option so your telephone line can connect to the webinar. Right now I show that you're on your computer mic.
Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. I think she said she's on her mic now. I'm sorry.
So she did type in her question. Do you see that, Craig? You want me to read it to you real quick?
Sure.
Okay. She says, when you get leads from the editorial ad, you send them. Oh, you already read that one. Okay, so she must have additional question. Another one. Can I bring my admin assistant to the Toronto seminar?
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I'm talking about the last question there. Lisa Nash says, can I ask a question regarding using a control ad against a test ad? And she said above that, I have a question regarding testing. I have my mic on now.
I see that now. Well, Lisa, it does not sound like your mic is working properly. So if you could just type, well, I guess it's too much to type in.
Can you hear me?
Oh, we can now. Yay.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, so sorry about that. My question is, Todd was speaking about doing that. Craig used to test ads against a control ad. So you would run one ad and then you'd do like a testing of another ad at the same time. Is that correct, or how does that work?
It doesn't necessarily have to be at the same time, although it could be. So, for example, the online home evaluation campaign that we just looked at, I might want to test which day of the week works best, right? So I could do that by using a different domain name.
And then would you? Okay, so you would just would you split your ad budget, or I mean, did you have a method to, or you just kind of do it whatever you thought?
Well, let me give you some real world examples. Okay.
Yeah.
So the online home evaluation was one of my best campaigns to get sellers to raise their hands. That was closely followed by what I refer to as the area home sales report.
Yes.
Andrea can pop both of those up while we're talking here. So those were both very strong campaigns to attract seller leads, and I wanted to test different local newspapers. That was one of the things I wanted to test. So when it ran in one newspaper, I would give it one domain name, in a different newspaper another domain, and so on. So I would know at the end of the week which newspaper worked the best. And of course I would know the cost of advertising in that particular newspaper.
So
some of the newspapers would come out different days of the week, like the Era Banner used to come out on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. So I also wanted to know, well, what works better, Tuesday, Thursday, or Sunday? So I would give each day a unique domain name. If you're using an 800 number, it would be a specific 4-digit ID number.
But did you test it once and then, or did you have like I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out, is how do you determine, okay, yes, this is more successful? Like, did you just try it in a different paper once, or did you try it 3 times and then
good question. Good question. I might try it a couple times because who knows, maybe you got bad placement in the publication on one particular day. So yeah, I would probably, if it was print advertising, I'd probably test it, a couple times in each publication, or try each day of the week a couple times just to make sure that you just didn't have an unusually good or bad day.
Okay, and just to give you some results, I did run a Facebook ad for Ajax for the 10 best buys, just based on one of the ads that you guys ran. And like within 2 days, I already received 11 leads, and so these are the stats that I just got from Facebook, and my cost per lead is $2.38.
Okay, now that's really great. Now what we have to establish is the quality of the leads.
Yeah. So that's where I've been following up with them, and some of them are bogus. I'm not going to say that they're not, but the fact that they filled out the form, they gave me their information, and I did have one person who said to me that, well, she's sort of working with an agent, but she's not 100% happy, so I'm going to be all over her. So anyways, I just want to share that worked out well, and I did them specifically for Ajax, and I had just how you've said, and I have the URL with an Ajax URL, etc.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we want you folks to do is we want you to look at all the ads that we provided for you. We want you to work with your coach and pick the ones that make the most sense to you as a test. And I promise, you've heard me say this before, I promise all of you, some of the ads I'm giving you will work better than others, and some of the places you run the ads will work better than other places. So if we just pay attention to the results, the marketplace will actually tell us the best approach. Like, we don't have to really, here's the thing. If you had an ad that really worked well, and you could run it week after week after week, you wouldn't care about anyone's opinion on that ad. You know the results. So that's what we need to do. Is what happens here is, I've noticed over the years of working with realtors, sometimes we kind of fall in love with our own ideas, right? We create an ad ourselves or a strategy, and even though it's not working very well, we kind of will it to work because, this is my creation. And if you create something that we haven't given you and it really works well, all the power to you. We want it to work for you. But our ad generator is really a great place to start. You've heard us say this. Everything that you guys want to do in real estate has already been done by thousands of our members before. You really don't have to be creative. All you have to do is be a really good copier and a really good listener to the results. As those results come in, you should be learning every week. Well, here's something I determined. I determined on Facebook that Tuesday afternoon is way better than any other time to run my ads. Or this particular newspaper on this particular day works way better. Or when I'm sending my postcards out, this part of town works way better than that part of town. And as you're gathering this information, you're going to keep testing and tweaking things until when? Until you can't make it any better. Now, once you get it to that point where you've got this layered approach, see, the layered approach is very important because, as James mentioned, not everybody is going to respond to any one media. So we find our most successful members are using this layered approach. They're not all in on any one media. They don't sell hundreds of homes from just Facebook or just Google or just direct mail or just the local paper or billboards or radio. It's a combination of different things they've proved through this tracking and testing to work far better than everything else. Now, once you get to that point, here's the great thing. You can build a fence around that and just repeat it over and over again. Yeah. You see, right now, all this might seem like a lot of tedious work to you guys, but do you want to know the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? Here's some of my testing results, by the way, that Andrea is flashing on the screen. So I did this for years and years and years, a little bit anal maybe, but yes, look at the things that I tracked. If you can blow that up a little bigger, Andrea. Okay, so I just want to show everybody, I practice what I preach to you folks. Here's the ad. This is for the week of January the 2nd. So I ran on that particular week, I ran the first-time buyer ad, and I ran the fixer-upper ad. This was in the local newspaper, in the Era banner. Now below, it says ad running in the Era, the New Market Era, the Richmond Hill Liberal, and the Markham Economist. Those three ads ran. So Home Down the Street, okay, and the online home evaluation we just talked about were two of my bestseller ads. Then I've got the divorce ad. To the right of it, do you see where it says the ID number? That was the hotline ID number. And then it says a number / another number. Well, that's the number of prospects that called in on the hotline, and to the right of it, on the other side, the right of the slash mark is the number of actual leads, people that left a message. And then if you go all the way to the right, it tells you what the ad costs. Okay, so for the week, for first-time buyers, I had 8 people call into my hotline. I generated 4 leads, and the ad cost me $89. So let's call that about $22 a lead. Okay, so I did all this testing and testing and testing. Now, once you get to the point where you figured out what works the best, here's how automated I made it. The newspaper would know for the whole month exactly what to run. I didn't mess with it. I said, I've proven, okay, these are the ads that work. These are the days of the week. So newspaper rep, here is a list of the ads I want to run and the days. You've got my ads. Here's the schedule. Just go do this. Okay, my postcards, BXL printers, printed the same postcard, 20,000 of them for me every other week, and they even delivered them to Canada Post for me. They had the paper, had nothing to do with me. My classified ads had nothing to do with me. My Facebook ads, I had a lady in my office that would just run I told her what ads to run, when I wanted them to run. She would do that, had nothing to do with me. Okay, so the Sunday tour of homes, I perfected that little idea. My outside sales agents form that Sunday tour of homes every Sunday. We did 2 tours of 6 homes each, so 12 houses open, had nothing to do with me. So that's the theme here is we're going to do all the picky work of testing these ads, figuring out what works best for us, and then we're going to build a fence around it. So it just happens, and the leads come in, and so now what I want you guys to do is to focus on, once you figure out what works the best, focus on calling the leads back.
And
that's your rainmaker activity.
I'm so sorry, Craig.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the information everyone's looking at is session 3, Mastering Direct Response Lead Generation. And just like the session we talked about earlier, Why Follow-Up is Everything, you can watch that in the recorded webinars library.
So that was my thoughts on that. James, anything you want to add?
Have we got any others to look at?
We have a lot of ads, and I'm not even sure we're going to get through them all, seeing what time it is. We're at the top of the hour, and I'll do my.
I'm surprised at this this Facebook post that we're looking at right here, the Best Broward Homes. It did pretty well, 115 leads, 6 appointments, 3 contracts so far. So obviously very effective, and it offers. Well, I'm not even sure what it does offer. It says first-time home buyers, stop renting and start building your wealth. Own a home for what you now pay in rent. To get started, go to. It's not even clear to me exactly what is being offered here, just to get started. But again, as you've heard, as Craig, as you've said many times, we always let the response dictate what we continue and discontinue doing. So obviously, this is working effectively. I'd be interested in testing it head-to-head against an identical ad, only instead offering a free list of first-time home buyer properties that carry for less than rent. Everything else is exactly the same. You change nothing else in the ad. The only thing that changes is it would say, first-time home buyer, stop renting and start building your wealth. Free list of first-time home buyer properties that carry for less than rent. And see what happens when the prospect raises their hands to receive the actual properties, with the premise being that buyers want properties. Buyers want homes. Sellers want buyers. I'd be curious to see what happens. But you can see this was very successful, and I would definitely hit the repeat button on this, and I'd run this over and over and over again forever.
Hey, Andrea, we should remind all of our Toronto area members, or members in general, about the Platinum meeting in Toronto in August. Only a couple weeks away.
We should. You can find it in the events section of the coaching member site, where you can reserve your seat and download the agenda that's been posted by Todd.
Okay, so this is where coaching and platinum members are going to be meeting for 3 days, August 19th, 20th, and 21st, right in downtown Toronto. Okay, if you're a coaching or platinum member, you're invited to attend. And you can register right there on our website.
Some of our newest members may not be able to see the platinum events. If you have any questions about that, your coach would be the first place to start, or just call our office.
And then again, we've got the Anaheim event for those of you that are planning on attending the Anaheim, California event. It's October 13th, 14th, and 15th. Okay, you should talk to your coach about what you're going to learn at those events, and we always encourage you to attend our training. Those that are most successful with the system are those that participate in the training and on the webinars.
And since we're doing reminders, we have our Internet Success Helpline session. Once a month, we do a internet-based helpline clinic on Monday with Steve Raitt and Christy Filion from Success website. So that will be this Monday.
Let's have a look at the next ad.
Okay, hold on just one second. Let me go back. Can you guys see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, James, another Facebook ad.
All right, so this is coming from Temecula Marietta Home Guide. Information-based, not a realtor, which is very good. It says, summer's here and it's heating up. There are many great homes in the Temecula area with pools, and you can explore them and look through pictures for free. Click here to get started. Homes with swimming pools in Temecula. Click here to explore a free list of homes with pools in Temecula. Yeah, that says it all. This is a really good test. And, I know from going up to Temecula, I don't think there's ever been a cloud above Temecula ever. It's always hot and sunny there in the summertime. It's very, very warm. So there are lots and lots of pool homes. It's something with very wide appeal. If you're looking for a home in Temecula, it's highly likely that you would be looking for a home with a pool, and that wouldn't be a disqualifier. So this is a really good test, a really good ad, and hopefully it's something that generates a lead or two every time you run it.
Ad number 9 and 10, different members, both pay-per-click.
All right, so ad number 9 and 10 are Google ads. Miramar Affordable Homes. Buy a home with zero down, get a free list of homes with pictures and addresses. Hollywood, Florida foreclosures, homes in BrowardCounty.com. Free list of foreclosure and fixtures with pictures from $200K and up. That's what we're talking about when we say a simple, concise, compact message that offers, something of wide appeal. These are all really good examples of that. So for anyone that's looking for a property in Hollywood, Florida, or Miramar area of San Diego, these are they're hard to eliminate. They're really hard to disqualify. And that's the idea. We want to run ads that are more difficult to disqualify and thus encourage more response. Now, of course, with all of these ads, as we've talked about many times, the ad is only as good as the landing page that the prospect goes to upon clicking on the ad. So we're really not designing an ad, we're designing an ad and a landing page. The two go hand in hand, and you can't have one without the other. Any questions in the chat before we wrap it up?
Let me give it a quick look.
For any members who we don't get
asking.
I'm so sorry.
Someone's asking if the Home Down the Street campaign is better than offering an online home evaluation. They're both good. You're going to test them. See, that's the thing. We don't have to ask, will this work better or will that work better? we just want to test. It really doesn't even matter what James and I think. What really matters is what your prospects think in your marketplace. I recommend both because they both worked well for me. All right, I guess we should wrap this up. Any final thoughts?
Well, we're looking forward to seeing everybody over the next couple of months. Obviously, we've got some live events coming up, including our super conferences, of course, as you just mentioned. Monday morning is our helpline session. Is that correct, Andrea?
It's the Internet Helpline session.
Is it? Okay, I wondered if it was, and that's I'm actually up in the Bay Area doing some events next week that we have coming up. So if you're up there and you want a little refresher, we're doing some half days. You can go to craigproctor.com and you can see those events coming up. Or if you want to come out and say a kind word, we always welcome that as well. But yeah, we're going to be seeing everybody over the next couple of months here, and so make sure you've made your arrangements. Don't leave it to the last minute or problems arise. And we really look forward to seeing everybody. And obviously all the live events are posted right on the Craig Proctor Coaching website. And they're really a great use to your time to come and spend, that time working on your business. So we'll look forward to seeing everybody there.
Yeah, and I appreciate everyone being with us here today, especially those of you that submitted your ads. I don't know if we got to all of them, but we do appreciate that. If not, we'll pick up it again next Friday. As Andrea mentioned, have all your internet, your online lead generation questions ready for Monday, because Monday morning, in lieu of our regular helpline, we're going to be speaking to the founder of Success Website and his head customer service manager, Christy Fillion, and we're going to answer all your questions about the Success Website and online lead generation. So we'll wrap it up for today. Thank you, Andrea and James, for doing a great job, and everyone have a wonderful weekend. We'll talk to you Monday morning. That concludes today's ad clinic. Thank you.